got that audio muffling.
I thought you were going to say truffling, because I could really go for like a truffle right now.
The holidays are over, Van. Time to get fit.
My stomach disagrees.
Mine too.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Gettin Cheezy with Van and Jeezy. I'm Van.
And I am Jeezy.
First things first, we want to send our sincerest condolences to the Bryant family and everyone else involved in that truly senseless helicopter accident which took the life of Kobe Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter while they were on the way to a basketball game, actually.
It's truly a great loss. One of the greatest athletes of our lifetime, maybe of any time. Did it big, used his time after retirement to really promote the right things, and sad loss for a lot of people.
I've never been a big basketball guy, but Kobe Bryant was one of those living legends, you know, when we were kids, right? When we were kids, it was MJ, Shaq, Kobe.
Yes.
And, you know, I remember when I was a kid, I think my uncle got me a Sports Illustrated for Kids subscription, and they used to put in these little, like, couple of pages in the middle that were perforated, like, cardboardish material, and they had cards on them, right? And one of them was a Halloween theme, and I believe it was Kobe Bryant was dressed up as a pirate.
There you go.
Did you know he was only 41? That's incredibly young.
That's so young.
I could have sworn he was in his 50s, but he actually entered the NBA in 1996 as an 18-year-old.
He was technically not even 18 at the time of signing his contract. This was something that came up. People were sharing their favorite moments, and somebody wrote, Kobe Bryant signs his rookie contract as a 17-year-old, needing his parents to co-sign it.
True competitor. You know, that was probably the biggest thing. As much as he was a gifted athlete, he lived competitor, he lived working hard, he lived all that to the fullest, and so the Mamba will be missed.
Definitely. And, you know, it kind of segues into our first topic here at the Pro Bowl. The news of Kobe Bryant's passing was announced, that story was broke about 30 minutes before the kickoff, and players from all over the league showing their support and the impact that they felt by losing Kobe Bryant.
Zadarius Smith got a sack, and he and a bunch of the other linebackers on the NFC squad pretend dribbled and, like, shot the ball.
Lamar Jackson shares a story on the sideline that Kobe Bryant signed his jersey when he was drafted.
Wow.
I thought that was pretty cool.
I mean, he was just one of these once-in-a-lifetime talents, personalities, you know. You know, there have been a lot of really heartfelt Kobe tributes, and I for one, will continue to shout Kobe every time I throw a paper ball at a trash can and miss.
You could make one in honor of Kobe.
If that was, like, physically possible for me to do, I would.
Well,
I don't know if you've seen my stature. Doesn't really, like, lend itself to being a basketball player.
Your efficacy at putting things in a hole are low.
Ooh.
Is that true?
I'll have to direct that question to Miss Van.
Oops, that was a strange segue. Anyway, going back to the Pro Bowl, as everyone knows, the AFC won.
No one knows, dude. No one fucking watches. No one knows.
The AFC won.
Although, to be fair, in my lifetime, I feel like the AFC wins every time.
They do win a lot, but we both guessed that they were going to win, and lo and behold, they did. Final score is 33-38.
The AFC has won the past 4 times in a row. They have the current overall lead in this series, 25-22. I was just kind of looking up the history of the Pro Bowl a little bit here. Interesting stuff, man. Before the Pro Bowl, it was the All-Star Game. From 1938 to 1942 was the All-Star Game. Fun fact, January 14th, 1940, the Packers beat the NFL All-Stars 16-7.
What?
We beat the entire All-Star team.
Well, I think it's a disadvantage when you have an All-Star team because they don't have chemistry playing together.
Well, the NFL Pro Bowl from 1950 to 69. That was just the Pro Bowl. It was East and West. Then it goes to the AFC, NFC Pro Bowl as we're used to. A couple, you know, bizarro years where they decided it was be a good idea to draft players like a backyard pickup game. Jerry Rice and Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin and Chris Carter were like team captains. It was weird.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that.
And then back to the Pro Bowl, starting in 2016 through now. Fun fact, Wrigley Field actually hosted the second Pro Bowl, 1939. Pretty cool.
Wow. As far as the actual Pro Bowl, I think there's only one real highlight that you need to see. Harrison Smith gets an interception, runs it down the field a bunch of the way, and then does a lateral to Fletcher Cox. Now, those of you who don't recognize Fletcher Cox by name, he is a lineman for the Eagles, 300-pound plus, and that 300-pounder delivers some fierce stiff arms before trotting into the end zone. If you haven't seen the replay, it's pretty neat. It's one of those fun things that you can only see at the Pro Bowl.
Sure. This article is actually titled, Who Won the Pro Bowl in 2020? And my argument would be, no one. They made a bunch of different rules to make it safer. No motion or shifting by the offense. You have to have a running back and tight end in all formations. No, intentional grounding is legal. Defense has to be a 4-3 defense. No blitzing. I think there's no tackling even now.
Yeah, I think it's a wrap-up thing.
You can't rush a punt or a field goal.
Although they did do that to one of them.
I thought you weren't allowed to.
It was reviewed and examined as a legal play, and they have ultimately allowed it. It looked like they were breaking that rule to me.
No kickoffs. Only 44 players. You have replay reviews. Interesting. 2-minute warning for all quarters. Game clock still runs on incompletions except for 2 minutes left in the half or overtime. And then, the new rule we mentioned. Did we mention?
We did. The 4th and 15.
Anybody doesn't know, they tried getting rid of the onside kick. Rather than electing to do an onside kick, you could have the ball at your own 25 and attempt a 4th and 15. If you convert, you continue play as normal. If you don't convert, it's the same thing as turnover on downs. So wherever the dead ball is where the other team takes over.
I did see the very end of the game, the NFC did go for the 4th and 15.
And then?
It did not work. It was an interception, which...
Kirk Cousins, is that who did that?
Yes.
The winners of the Pro Bowl make $74,000 each, while the losers make $37,000 each.
That's a nice little bonus at the end of the year.
When you consider that the median household income in the United States is less than 60, it's a very nice payday.
Yeah, it's a nice little chunk of change. Anyway, let's move on to the Super Bowl matchup, which we have this weekend on Sunday at 6:30. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs hosting, technically, the San Francisco 49ers. I'm looking at the CBS Sports article from Patrick Walker, and this is all about the betting. And the odds are crazy close. The Chiefs are the current favorite at -1, 49ers +1.
Never understood why the favorite was negative. Is there a reason why? Do you understand this?
I'm not sure. Anyway, I have to disagree. I'm thinking the 49ers, I've been looking at the stats, been licking my chops, getting excited. So on the offensive side, look at the regular season stats here. Kansas City scored an average of 28.2 points, while San Francisco scored an average of 29.9 points. Super close. But actually not what I was expecting. I actually thought that Kansas City was the higher scoring team on average.
Don't forget that Patrick Mahomes is out for a little bit. That takes your scoring average down.
That's true. That is fair. They did have, who was back there? It was
that dude that almost beat us. The guy that they called off his couch.
Yeah, the guy that called off his couch. That's right. I can't think of his name. But versus on defense, Kansas City only allowed 19.2 points per game. They were 7th in the league. San Francisco's right there at 19.4, 8th overall. And so when I was thinking about this game, before I looked at these couple of stats here, I thought San Francisco is obviously the defensive team here, and Kansas City is the high-flying offense. But the more I look at their stats and think about the season, they're pretty well matched.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, they're basically almost equivalents here. Kansas City has the edge in terms of experience. They have players that went to the playoffs last year, have been in big games.
That is true.
Andy Reid's got a lot of experience coaching and losing in the playoffs.
He absolutely does. But Kyle Shanahan and his whole squad looks good. I think that defense in the playoffs has been absurdly good. And I tend to think defenses win the big game.
I don't know about absurdly good, but they've been good.
They've been good. Very, very good.
They probably played just about to their average they've been playing the whole year, which is still very good.
I mean, who'd they beat? They beat us, and the week before they beat the Vikings. So, I mean, they beat up the NFC North, huh?
Yeah.
It's something to be seen. I think Kansas City got tested a little more with their matchups over the playoffs, but I'm excited for this game. I'm leaning towards San Francisco. Maybe I should go place a bet. Obviously, the odds are not in my favor, which means I get a slight extra payout here, so I might need to go do that. What's your score prediction, Van?
I mean, 54.5 is the over-under right now. That seems a little high, doesn't it?
If you look only at their offensive scoring averages from the regular season, 28.2, 29.9.
Yeah, but look at the defenses allowed, too. You have to imagine it's going to be right in the middle there somewhere. I mean, I guess.
Their offensive scoring is like just over 57. It's like 58.1.
I'm taking the under on the over-under.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it'll be less than 57 points?
You mean 55?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I do. Well, my pick is the Chiefs.
Oh, shit. We're not locked in unity here.
I think it's going to be like a 35 to, whatever 54 minus 35 might be. It better be a better Super Bowl than it was last year. That shit was trash.
That was horrendous. Honestly, horrendous.
Stupidest Super Bowl I ever seen. Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs. I think that they've been there before. They got experience, and I think Andy Reid is extra motivated to make it to the White House for that fast food buffet.
Is that a real thing?
Dude, Trump did it last year, right?
I have no idea.
Last year, Trump had like fucking Big Macs and like a whole spread from McDonald's.
I have no idea.
Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't for the NFL. It was actually for the college football. Clemson had got themselves a buffet of McDonald's and Burger King.
Now that sounds delicious. I could chow down on some Burger King. I'm not.
Dude, can you imagine? I mean, I would probably work really fucking hard and make myself a good NFL player if I got to go to the White House for a buffet of Wendy's. Can you imagine how good that would be?
That would be so good. I would be a problem.
I want a bunch of 4-for-4s everywhere.
You know what's shameful, and this is true?
That you've gone through and gotten more than one 4-for-4 in a row?
Yes, that's true. He was like, do you want me to just upgrade your drink, or do you want all those cups? And I was like, just upgrade my drink, please.
What do you mean all those? Was there more than two?
What?
To me, all those implies more than two, because two would be both.
Well, that Mrs. Jeezy was with me.
You want both these cups. All those, to me, means you're at least in the 3-4 range here.
Yeah, Mrs. Jeezy was with me. We ordered 3 4-for-4s.
Bullshit. You ordered 3 for yourself and 1 for her.
What?
I know you. I know
got
you.
4 4-for-4s.
Were you sitting there just shamefully considering your life choices?
No, I was never ashamed. I was never prouder in my whole life.
No, I would do the 4-for-4, and then I add some extra chicken nuggets on the side.
Damn.
Of the spicy variety.
Burger King has a 5-for-4? I've not tried it yet, but I feel like the only time I get fast food now is when I drive to Wisconsin or drive back from Wisconsin.
That's basically what I do as well.
Otherwise, I don't really get fast food anymore, but when that happens, oh boy, howdy, I'm getting all the fast foods.
Like every once in a while, and this is no joke, Miss Van was like, Taco Bell's so gross. I don't like Taco Bell. She went to Taco Bell on her own, unprompted, twice.
Did she wisely get Taco Bell breakfast, though?
Oh, that shit was so good. When you and I got it on the way to the Packers game against Carolina.
Yeah, that was good. I love Taco Bell breakfast.
So good. No, she got whatever the fuck she got right after going to her physical.
What?
She planned this shit, right? She goes, I'm going to go to the doctor and be all healthy for the doctor, and I'm going to turn around and eat the fuck out of some Taco Bell.
And now I'm cheesing my way back to you, Van, with a burning cheese inside. It's the Packers section.
Sponsored by Taco Bell and Wendy's, but not really.
That's what the people want. Give the people what they want.
Not much going on in Pack Girls world right now, obviously. Matt LaFleur came out and said that Mike Pettine's job is safe.
Nice.
He'll be back. Other slightly related Packers news, it looks like Dallas is turning into Green Bay South. Mike McCarthy, head coach over there. He pulled in Scott Tolzien to be a coach on his offensive coaching staff. This kid lived the dream. He was starting quarterback at Wisconsin.
Yes.
I think he's from Milwaukee. Starting quarterback at Wisconsin. Has some success there. Goes to the Packers. The first time that Aaron Rodgers broke his collarbone, and we had like Seneca Wallace, Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn.
Scott Tolzien was the one who hit that glorious Madden B button spin move.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I
We were on like the 2-yard line, and everybody goes to the right. He does a B button, matches the B button spin move back to the left, scores touchdown. That's that. Basically, though, in actual Packers news, we've signed our entire practice squad.
We have officially signed our practice squad to the puppy guarding contract where we puppy guard those players from other teams getting them. Is that a term that people know, puppy guard?
I don't think so.
Do you know what that means?
No.
Puppy guarding is when you
get a puppy and you're like, no, this is my puppy. You stay away from my puppy. I'm going to pet him. You can't pet him yet.
It's when you like hover over stuff to like sort of keep other people away from it, but you're not actually doing anything. You're just like there so they don't do something.
Yeah. Anyways, we signed our entire practice squad.
I see your guy Darius Shepard is back.
That wasn't my guy.
What?
It wasn't my guy.
You said you were talking high of Darius Shepard during the preseason.
Darius Shepard.
Yeah, the same. I messed up the pronunciation there.
Yes, that guy. I seem to remember someone else on this podcast being very high on one Geronimo Allison. How'd that turn out?
He's a free agent.
He is indeed a free agent. Our free agents this year include Brian Bulaga, Mason Crosby, Blake Martinez, Danny Vitale, Geronimo Allison, Jared Veldheer, Tyler Irvin, Kyler Fackrell, B.J. Goodson, Mercedes Lewis, Ryan Grant, not the running back from the mid-2010s, Tremont Williams, Will Redmond, Alan Lazard, Chandon Sullivan, Jake Kumaro, Robert Tanyan, Tyler Lancaster, Malcolm Johnson. All those names are pretty big names, I think.
There's a lot of big names. If you could guarantee sign 3 of them.
Darn it, this was my same question for you, but I was going to say 5. Can we settle on 4?
All right, 4. 4 for 4 here.
Oh, shit. My number 1, obviously, my boy Mason Crosby.
Okay, that's a good pick.
Because, as we've seen throughout the NFC North, it's so difficult to come by consistent kicking, looking at you Bears and Vikings. So Mason Crosby, number 1 to me. Number 2 to me, Alan Lazard.
Wow. And before Kumaro.
Yeah. Alan Lazard had better flashes than Kumaro did towards the end of the year, I thought. Now, my heart really wants to say Tremont Williams, but my mind says that he's 38, not getting any younger. Who knows if he even wants to come back and play again? I'm sure he does, but my heart says Tremont Williams.
Psych, he's 36. He is definitely 36.
I want to bring him back, but we can't. I feel like.
Why not? He had a good season.
Age versus, I don't know. He played really well. I'll put him on like the fringe of like a have to bring back. I'm going to say Tyler Irvin, dude.
Whoa, really?
That kid gave such a spark to our return game and showed some pretty good flashes out of the backfield, too.
I'm surprised by that. So I have to agree. I think we have to.
I got one more.
Wait, what? Didn't you pick 4?
I picked 3. I pulled the reins back in on Tremont Williams.
Who are your 3 so far?
Crosby.
Okay.
Irvin.
Okay.
Lazard.
All right, that sounds good. Who will you give your 4th and final rose to?
Gosh.
It is Monday night, Bachelor night.
Is it really?
Of course it is.
Gosh. This is difficult. This is difficult, lemon difficult.
We have a friend who texted us, let's go out tomorrow. Tonight I have a bachelor party. And I was like, oh shit, they're getting buck wild. Next day, they were watching The Bachelor.
Oh, shit. My number 4 is going to be... This is difficult,
With
man.
My Little Eye.
Fuck.
Come on, Van. Shit or get off the pot.
Can I just get off the pot? This is difficult.
All right, you're done. You get 3.
I'm not done. Tremont Williams.
Oh, Tremont Williams. Good choice. Good choice. So, Mason Crosby, shoe-in for me.
Shoe-in? Because he's a kicker. Do you get it?
I want to bring back Mercedes Lewis.
Okay, I can see that.
I love Mercedes Lewis. Great player, underused. He had some flashes of brilliance in the playoffs. It was like they finally realized what they have in him. And I hope that means we're going to see more of that next year.
I would hope so.
I have to agree. I want Alan Lazard back.
Yep. Who's your Quattro?
This is where it gets hairy for me.
That's what I said, too! That's why my heart took over and I said Tremont.
Tremont Williams is right there on the edge. Are we gonna let both of our linebackers walk in Blake Martinez and Kyler Fackrell?
We're talking about have-to-haves here.
It's got to be Tramon Williams.
Mm-hmm.
I can't let both of those linebackers walk, though. I mean, and Kyler Fackrell's up and coming. I feel like
he's been around. This is probably like his 5th year now coming up.
But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he's one of these guys
inconsistent.
He's been inconsistent. That's exactly it. But I feel like he's one of these guys that might have a mid-career, just all-star season.
That'd be nice.
Or he may be a bust. But I think he's one of these guys that just might do that.
So Brian Bulaga, you're not going to bring back because he's hurt all the time. We got some good players behind him, and like Alex Light, he's good coming up. Blake Martinez he's just too slow. He leaves league in tackles all the time, but when they happen 7 yards downfield, it doesn't help too much.
Yeah, it makes our defense look bad that it's always Blake Martinez 7 yards downfield.
I am straight up disappointed we didn't use Danny Vitale at all, basically, this year.
Yeah, not even as a lead blocker, really.
The fullback run game is there for us constantly. We never use it. Geronimo Allison, I don't need to say anything about that.
I would like to see him back. There's no reason he shouldn't be on the practice squad, but I don't think he'll settle for that. He'll probably end up somewhere else.
End up somewhere else. On someone else's practice squad. Have you ever read any of the tweets he's put out?
No.
Oh my God, that guy's a dingus. Jared Valdir literally came off his couch mid-season for us, so, I feel like he was a one-and-done kind of thing. Kyler Fackrell and B.J. Goodson are both, like, mid-tier linebackers that could make a jump.
But if I'm going to pick one, it's got to be Kyler Fackrell.
Yeah, I think so. Marcedes Lewis, I agree with you. Everything you said about him, but I just didn't put him on my list, that's all. Ryan Grant, I don't remember seeing him take one snap.
I was going to say, I didn't see him on the field very much, if at all.
Here's why I debated Tramon Williams so much. Will Redmond and Chandon Sullivan. Chandon Sullivan more so than Will Redmond, but those dudes both they're young and have some upside to them.
They really do. I don't think Redmond's bad. He's been playing well.
Chandon Sullivan's played better than him, I think.
Yeah, probably a little better, but Redmond's been solid.
That's why I had a hard time saying Tramon over those guys. Age is basically what it comes down to for me.
Yeah.
Speaking of interchangeables, Alan Lazard and Jake Kumro were almost interchangeables for me, but Lazard seemed to be more consistently getting playing time than Kumro. So, Big Bob Tanyan, I like him, but he's like a Richard Rodgers to me, man, where he's like a very solid journeyman tight end.
Yeah, that's about right. That's an accurate description.
Tyler Lancaster's another one I wanted to say really bad because he's a pretty solid interior lineman, but that's just it. He's pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean he's a good guy to have, be able to call and have him there.
And another one I have no idea. I don't think I've ever seen on the field. Malcolm Johnson.
Fullback?
Fullback.
We had 2 fullbacks?
I did. I was surprised too. We use tight ends for fullbacks a lot.
We do. It's the gossip section.
The 2020 NFL Draft is going to be taking place on the water off of the Bellagio fountains in Las Vegas.
I saw this. So many people at work came up to me and said, "Hey man, did you hear about this already?" And I was like, "No, tell me more." They're going to use a boat to bring the players who've been selected up. A boat. It's going to be a fucking production.
I think the boat going over is going to be like a time thing of like, and with the first pick in the NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Joe Burrow. And then, yeah. And then like 3 minutes of this boat just like putting along.
Maybe the guy is under a sheet on the boat coming up already. And then when they announce him, the sheet shoots up in the air by way of air gun. Of course, the water is now littered with dozens of wet white sheets.
It's fine.
Then the person is there in full like pads and a helmet for their team. And pom-poms.
Here's what I want. I want each team to have to select 3 players that are potentially being picked. I want to see the other 2, like, they're all standing on springboards. The Cincinnati Bengals select Joe Burrow.
Boing. Both
2 players.
Yep.
Let's go flying into the water. I have to be picked up with, like, fishnets.
No, helicopter. helicopter with a crane game.
One of those players gets selected second, so he has to like get up and dry himself off.
Oh man, that would be so good.
Can you imagine the guy who like keeps falling spots like down and down and down? He gets sprung into the water like 16 times before he gets picked.
I mean, that would have been DK Metcalf this year. That's a big ass dude to shoot up with a spring.
I'm gonna get into the star of our gossip section, who we really could just call this the Antonio Brown section. He has, oh my goodness, he could be facing life in prison. Basically, he reportedly, a delivery driver showed up to his house. He refused to pay the bill, threw rocks at the truck, battered the driver, and removed some property from the truck. He had to post a $110,000 bail, which he did. And part of the conditions of the bail is he had to undergo a mental health evaluation. His attorney says, I don't think there's any mental health issues with him. Antonio Brown's life right now is a reality show. He's misinterpreted and misunderstood. He's not guilty of these charges. He did not commit a felony battery. In this case, when all the facts come out, you will see he will be vindicated and he will not be found guilty. I don't know how you can say that he did not do these things when the police were there. He locked himself inside his house. And there was someone else with him too, I think. Someone else that was there with him also was beating on the delivery driver.
I don't understand this at all. I mean, like, of all the senseless things he could have done, what is the point of harassing and physically harming a delivery driver? This is somebody who is delivering food, trying to make ends meet.
It was actually a moving truck.
I mean, what's the point of that?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's horrible.
I mean, he lost his agent. His agent, Drew Rosenhaus, isn't representing him anymore because he wants to work with him, but he's not going to do it until he gets help.
I mean, I think that's wise. What are you going to do? I mean, is it a mental health thing? Is it drug abuse? Is it something else?
CTE combined with being the best in the league at what you do. CTE combined with a big head.
I mean, that might be it. I don't know.
He and his trainer assaulted the driver of a moving truck who was hired to deliver his own stuff. It was a $4,000 bill, and he refused, so the driver tried to leave his house with the stuff still. Brown picks up a rock and throws it at the vehicle, causing a death.
$4,000 in food?
No. Moving things, his furniture.
Oh.
He throws a rock at the truck, denting it, chipping it off the door. The driver reports the damage to police. Shortly after that, the company calls him to say, hey, you still owe us stuff. Antonio Brown says he's willing to pay $4,000 plus an extra $860 to cover the damage for the truck. When the driver gets back to Antonio Brown's house, he gives him the $4,000 but didn't pay the damages. They argue, and then Brown enters the truck and begins to hit him before he was restrained by his associates. His trainer, Glenn Holt, proceeded to grab the keys out of the ignition and open the side of the truck so Brown could get his goods, but once the driver told Brown and Holt they were taking items that belonged to other people, they were thrown back into the truck, causing damage to those goods.
What the actual fuck?
I'm telling you, dude, CTE. None of this shit happened before Vontaze Burfict hit the shit out of him.
It's fucked up, man.
I can't think of another player who's gone down this type of path like this. I don't know.
It's horrible. And now we're moving on to the primetime picks. You've already heard them.
You mean the primetime pick?
Oh, shit.
Unless you want to do like a weird prop bet.
A prop bet? Do you want to go on the over-under?
Yeah, let's do that. Fine. That's not really a prop bet, but fine.
I know it's not a prop bet, but I don't want to have to come up with a prop bet.
Fine.
We've got the San Francisco 49ers facing off against Kansas City, the technical host of the Super Bowl this year. 6:30 this Sunday, February 2nd. I, Jeezy, have chosen the 49ers as the destined winners. Van has already pontificated that the Chiefs will walk away victorious and Andy Reid will end his long, long drought of just losing in the playoffs to absolute heartbreak.
Yeah.
So since we already have those, we're going to do the over-under, which the current number is 54.5. Van, what say you?
Under.
And I'm going over. I think these two offenses, they average, if you take their season averages, it's higher than that. And I think this game is going to go there. This game is going to see these teams, they're going to force the point of it. They're going to get some points. It's not going to be a huge scoring game, but I'd be surprised if we don't see one team in the 30s and one in the high 20s.
The prop bets, there's like 37 pages of prop bets put out by Westgate Las Vegas. I'm trying to find a fun one for us to pick, but like, oh my word. Here's one. Will Sammy Watkins have a rushing attempt?
I would say definitely.
Well, just to be different, I'm going to say no.
What?
Right now, the yes is plus 550, the no is negative 800.
Wow. So it's less likely that he's going to run it. I think he definitely will. That might be another bet I got to go out and make.
Here's another one. Yes or no, will Patrick Mahomes throw a touchdown pass in the first quarter?
Definitely.
The odds would seem to disagree with you, but I'll agree.
And that is our show. You've been listening to Getting Cheezy with Van and Jeezy.
I'm Van.
And I am Jeezy.
Check us out everywhere. Anywhere and everywhere, we're there. And actually, if we're not there, we'll get there. We will help direct you to where we are.
And if there's a place you want us to be, just tell us. We'll get there.
This is a true statement by Jeezy.
We can be downloaded anywhere fine podcasts are downloaded, even though our podcast isn't quite as fine as most.
We're fine.
Oh, that's true. Fine. If we use fine in the
we're just
fine,
it's fine. It's fine.
It's absolutely fine.
We're absolutely fine. It's fine.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. Really appreciate it.
Bye now.